Okay, but
I agree.
But what I want to talk about today is something that this conspiracy theory I found out of late.
Oh, the Taj Mahal one or the new
No,
something else?
the one
Okay.
we are going to talk about in this episode. Those were only examples. This is super interesting. Okay, it's about our own Area 51. What's up, Prakhar?
Thank God light
कैसा
on
गया
है.
तेरा recording? What recording were you doing?
Podcast record कर रहे थे हम लोग which
The podcast you are cheating on us with.
yes. No, it was a nice podcast. अच्छा था. काफ़ी लंबे एपिसोड से 13 एपिसोड रिकॉर्ड करें और एक एपिसोड इज रफली अराउंड 2 hours का जिसमें अलग अलग सेगमेंट्स हैं. मतलब इंट्रो, देन फन सेगमेंट, गेस्ट सेगमेंट, वी हैव गेस्ट कमिंग इन, वी हैव फन सेगमेंट जिसमें क्विज, हम टंग ट्विस्टर्स करवा रहे थे. हम लोग अपने में ही. सो एक एपिसोड इज बेसिकली इंट्रो, गेस्ट सेगमेंट, फन सेगमेंट, देन आउट्रो, एंड हर सेगमेंट के बीच में हम लोग अपने गाने प्ले कर रहे हैं. दिस इज लाइक सो दिस इज लाइक अ रेडियो शो जो आई हार्ट रेडियो पे इन US वहाँ पे एयर होगा फॉर द देसी एंड विदेशी दोनों लाइक ऑडियंस. बाइलिंगुअल है, हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों में वैसे ही चल रहा है. सो मेजरली फोकस वहाँ पे उनका ये है कि वहाँ पे देसी ऑडियंस को हमें टैप करना है.
Because this won't work in Maharashtra.
और बैंगलोर
or Bangalore, all of Karnataka,
and soon every state. But yeah, so the aim is the LA based management that has signed us. उनका aim ये है कि हम लोग US tour जब करते हैं next year, hopefully fingers crossed for the listeners, and touch wood, we're again touching words.
We're back to touching wood.
So
we have so many callbacks. We're just 6 episodes old and we have already 50 callbacks already.
But yeah, that's very nice. I'm very happy.
Talking about tongue twisters, why don't you give us a taste of your tongue twisters?
What a disgusting way of putting it, no?
Yeah, the way you said it was very weird.
It was very
And the
intentional.
look. Luckily, the listeners can't look
can't
at
see.
you.
They're missing out on something spectacular.
Please miss out on
Why
that.
why don't you give us a taste of your tongue twister?
Ew, again.
You know, we have a tongue twister that we made. Like it's our own tongue twister, जो हमने अपने गिटारिस्ट के ऊपर बनाया, which is गीली गिलहरी गहरी गिरी गहरी गिरी गीली गिलहरी.
This doesn't make sense. I will not do this. I will not.
गहरी गिरी गीली गिलहरी गीली गिलहरी गिरी गहरी.
If any of our like 10 odd listeners want to give it a try and send it across.
Us.
Yes, because we have like 10 listens every episode now.
Yeah, now we have
because
our
we're
friends.
literally arm twisting our friends into listen to the episodes. If anyone wants to give this a try and send us a voice recording, please send them across to don'tknowdocare1@gmail.com.
We have an email.
don'tknowdocare1@gmail.com.
Wait, I have a question. Why did we add the one? Was don't know do care taken?
Yes.
क्या है?
I don't know. We were the second.
You
of
should
the kind.
care. You should care. Do care.
Who cares?
Okay, anyway. We're going to talk about...
He's not as excited for your topic, just FYI.
It's very...
There was a drum roll. There was a drum roll when he thought I was presenting the topic. There was none when you said it was your
It's
episode.
okay, the listeners like me better. That's actually not true. But okay.
One crazy listener who's a friend of mine, I won't say who, said that you were the voice of reason, which I very strongly disagree with. But that's fine.
Can you imagine what a testament that is to the both of you if I am the voice of reason?
Yes, someone has to be the entertainment of the podcast, no? You don't bring the entertainment.
I think this is your personality coming through.
I'm fine. I've never claimed to be a gem of a person. So it's fine.
That is true.
Okay, my topic for the day
Yes.
Yes.
is conspiracy theory.
Not controversy theories.
Okay.
But
Conspiracy
You know
theory.
the funny part? When I was making this document where I write my notes, the title of the document was Controversy Theory. And today morning I edited it to Conspiracy because I had forgotten that it is conspiracy.
in case you're baffled what the inside joke is, it's not inside joke. please go back and listen to episode number 1 of Don't Know Do Care, and you'll get exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, anyway, but this one is one particular conspiracy theory that I want to talk about, okay? And it is very India-centric. India in itself, we are no stranger to conspiracy theories, right? We have 1,000,001 our WhatsApp
I
channels.
don't know what you're talking about.
Our WhatsApp channels are
Because that is a
filled-
conspiracy.
Our WhatsApp channels are filled with conspiracy
Yeah.
theories. So while I was looking up information on this, which one to talk about, I saw some really interesting ones. One which I didn't know was Taj Mahal was actually a Shiva temple, which
Of
is
course. Of course. Of course.
Oh God.
in the past 15 odd years with our wonderful party coming in power, the current right wing government, this has of course blown up. Qutub Minar is also apparently some Hindu temple before. This
Yes,
one
yes,
was
You know what I have heard about Taj Mahal?
Huh.
That Taj Mahal is balanced on huge wooden logs underneath. And I
It's
have
not-
no...
What do you mean balance? It's properly constructed. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like there are only two wooden...
No, it has a
more than two
pro-
maybe, like wooden logs, huge as wooden logs, and it is made on top of that.
The funny part is Archaeological Survey of India has put it on record saying this is not true. They had to come out and say.
They don't know about Dwapar Yug, so it's okay.
I also don't know. What the fuck is that?
Oh, you don't know? According to Hindu mythology, there are 4 yugs. We
Oh,
are
no,
currently
okay.
in
No, we are
Kali
not
Yuga.
getting into that.
We're
Okay.
living in Kali Yuga,
We are
right?
in Kali
The
Yuga right now.
other conspiracy theory is that Ravan had access to aircrafts and nuclear
Yes,
weapons.
the Pushpak Vihan. Pushpak Viman, yes.
Okay. Also bullshit because literally myth is in the name of
I agree.
mythology.
I agree.
Okay, but
I agree.
But what I want to talk about today is something that this conspiracy theory I found out of late.
Oh, the Taj Mahal one or the new
No,
something else?
the one
Okay.
we are going to talk about in this episode. Those were only examples.
Okay.
This is super interesting. Okay, it's about our own Area 51. You know what Area 51
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
Right. So Area
I've always been fascinated by
For
that
those who
Area
don't
51.
know, maybe you'd like to slightly give a
Oh,
Yeah,
this
sure.
is that
context.
Amul moment, by the way.
yeah. So for those who don't know, in Nevada there is a highly classified
Nevada,
US
USA.
Yeah, Nevada, USA. There's a highly classified US Air Force base, right? And as what happens in any highly classified military areas, there are always a lot of conspiracy theorists who come up and they claim that, there is extraterrestrial activity here and everything. And that's happened there. The side note on this fantastic thing I found was in 2019, there was this protest that a bunch of conspiracy theorists, Americans, of course, did. And they called it Storm Area 51.
Yeah, I remember.
And they went to search for aliens, okay? I found a poster. It's on fucking Wikipedia. There are 2 men standing and it with a poster called Clap Alien Cheeks. Ridiculous, dude.
I sincerely hope they got to do that. That would be so much
That is
fun.
harassment. Jesus. Okay, we are going to move on. So that is US's Area 51. We have our own Area 51, right? It's in Ladakh. It's a place called Kongla Pass. Right? Now, Kongla Pass has a history. It is a it's a highly restricted mountain pass, right? In this region. It is eastern Ladakh that's bordering China.
Okay.
Now, China, Tibet, and India border, that part has been a point of conflict for a very, very long period of time, right? We'll get to the history.
Okay.
Today, what's the conspiracy theory is that it's an alien base. Okay.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I also recently heard of it, and I'll give you the history is very
I've been to
interesting.
Leh. I've never heard anything like this.
You can't. I mean, that place is fully restricted.
No, but people should
But it's popular. I looked it up and there's a lot. Like I found massive media frenzy around this. I'll get to that. So they say that UFOs are regularly spotted there. Okay. And the Chinese government and the Indian governments both are aware, but they are silent about it. Okay.
I mean, of course, if it's an alien base, why would they talk about it? I believe that. I'm sold.
Okay.
There are aliens there. जादू वहीं से आया था.
Oh wow, very coordinated that was. Okay. So how did this history come up, right? How did the history of the region
Yeah.
come up, right? Why did it become such a highly militarized and protected area? So the border, which is the Kongla Pass, is now it is still a conflicted border, but a border,
Okay.
right? This apparently was not the border during the colonial rule. It was further off towards the Tibetan side. Okay, and then after that it was like a comedy of errors. So we will not go into that because the history is not as important as the conspiracy is.
I'm waiting for that.
Okay, there was a lot of, you know how we keep drawing different maps, right? So the Chinese would draw a different map and India would draw a different map,
Yeah.
and that's how the controversy between the two countries continued. And then in 1959 is when Kongla Pass became the dividing line, the actual line of control, right?
Right.
And this was because China extended its claims, and there was this incident called the Kongkhala Pass incident, right? Which is that, and at that time, the army was not stationed there. So the intelligence bureau, police party, they were there, right? And some police party in 1959 had gone up to see, you do a patrolling and everything. And at that time, it was the undisputed Indian territory. So they went into their own territory to see what was going on to patrol. And two of them went missing.
The police patrol party.
From the police patrol party, right?
अब interesting हो रहा है धीरे-धीरे.
After that, the Intelligence Bureau also sent a rescue mission. They found out that two of them went missing because the Chinese soldiers captured them. 10 soldiers, not soldiers, policemen, Indian policemen, were killed from the rescue mission team also. Okay, 10 others were taken prisoners. And then followed a lot of nasty things, right? Like there was a lot of mudslinging. Internally also, the army was challenging what the policemen and intelligence bureau were doing. So it was not a good scenario at that point of time, as what happens after every conflict. And army took charge of the border. All of this escalated to the 1962 Sino-Indian War, right? That is where that part almost unofficially became a no man's land, which is the Kongkhala Pass, right? Now, no man's land basically would mean that no country is allowed to bring their civilians to that area. It's naturally a highly dangerous zone at this point of time. And there comes the complete great breeding ground for any kind of conspiracy theory to come up, right? But the most fantastic thing happened so all of this started off quite off late, right? Like in 2001 was when the chatter began. Okay, and we are talking about this becoming a no man's land in 1962.
Yeah.
Right? So what happened was, in 1968, as usual, CIA intervened in something that had nothing to do with them. Okay? So there was this team over there who were like, they were convinced that there was sightings. Okay?
In India, in that Kongla Pass.
Yes. So they sent a team and they started observing what they called sightings of unidentified flying objects in Ladakh, Nepal, Sikkim, and Bhutan. Okay, this they started in 1968. In 2001, they sanitized and released the report, which I think is gold. Okay, because it is the most ridiculous document I have ever read. I have taken out some snippets of the report and I want to read it out to you. What they found. So there was one in the northeast Nepal. So similar area, right? What they found in February 1968. A fast moving object, long and thin, emitting red and green bright light, as bright as to cause daylight. Thunder sounds heard after a few seconds of sighting of object.
अरे ये बुलेट नहीं है.
It It literally can be anything. Okay.
वो एनफील्ड है या एनफील्ड?
Also beautiful. In March 1968, Ladakh object was following a circular path, left a trail of smoke behind it. Friend,
Yeah,
what does this
yeah.
mean? What is this?
They were making wheelies. No, what are they called? Donuts.
Donuts, yeah.
They're called donuts.
It's hilarious. Okay, you should read the report. I cannot go into the entire detail.
Is
This is a
this
funny report.
is this a public source? The
Yeah,
report?
it is sanitized and released in 2001. We'll put the link on the. In
Can
the
we
description.
share the images on our Instagram?
Yes,
I think so,
I
yeah.
think we should do
It's
this.
beautiful.
Yes.
We should also.
When this episode comes
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
we can share these images on our Instagram as well.
Yeah, we should. We should. And it is. I think we should also share the persons who looks a little bit like Lex Luthor.
Oh, nice.
He's
He's the flavor of the month anyway.
His name is, let me read it, Donald D. Keough, Director of the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena. God.
Aerial phenomena.
It's
Also,
useless.
just a very slight tangent from this. You know, the term UFO has been sort of retired now. They are no longer called UFOs.
Why? What are they called?
I think
Identified flying object.
I need to double check this, but I think they are called UAVs now.
Those are the aerial vehicles.
Yes, I think UFO is no longer in use.
No, but that's also the thing. So aerial vehicles are unmanned objects.
Yeah.
But then we are going to come to
that's a
a
part.
bit
Okay,
of
okay.
it's not completely a part of it, because the next thing was the spotting of a humanoid. which is
Oh,
also
right. Nice. Yes.
hilarious. So that's right. So unidentified flying object can also be a humanoid, can also be a drone,
okay.
can be
Yeah.
anything, right?
Fair.
So yeah. So this happened. This report was released in 2001.
Okay.
And of course, you know, conspiracy theorists again went crazy saying that the governments have always known what is going on and they have hidden from us and everything. I think they hid from us because they found fucking nothing. Like, you can't be like, something was moving around leaving a trail of smoke. What is that? You can't say that that's alien action.
My best guess is it was a group of people who just wanted to smoke up in peace. And they,
I totally buy that.
you know,
I 100%
they're
buy
like, यहाँ पे
that.
कोई नहीं ध्यान देगा, यहाँ कोना पकड़ लो, let's just do a hot box kind of scene. You know?
Let's get paid.
And also, just think about it. No, it's at a huge altitude, right? I think
Yeah.
it's at 17,000 feet or something like that, right? Which
Okay. I
above sea level. I don't know the exact. I think I was reading some, but whatever it is.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Pretty
Ladakh.
high. Okay,
Ladakh
fine.
is one of the highest points of our accessible country, right?
Right.
Now, naturally, there are going to be atmospheric conditions.
Yeah.
Low
That are-
oxygen.
Yeah,
and,
not just low oxygen leading you to hallucinate or something, but also an atmospheric change
Yeah.
that is going to lead you to see things that you wouldn't see in planes. So, I mean, you can't just randomly be like, "Humne ye dekha and this is now alien activity," which is fully in tune and tracks with the CIA's unwarranted confidence on everything wrong. 100% that fully tracks with their reputation and how they have been functioning across the ages. It's still ridiculous. Now, this happened in 2000. So the report was released in 2001. 2004, another interesting thing happened. There was this group of glaciologists and geologists, right? They were from the SAC, Space Application Center of ISRO. Okay, and they went to, this was a 5-member team, and they went to what is called as the Samudra Tapu. Same area in 2004, of course, for an expedition, right? This was led by this gentleman called Anil Kulkarni. I'm going to quickly spell out the names. I am most likely going to forget them in the next second, but I refer to them, so I'm going to just quickly tell you that. So the leader was Anil Kulkarni, geologist Rajiv Kalia and Sunil Dhar, and the Space Application Center scientist Sushil Singh, right? So these were fully accomplished scientists who went and who said they saw a humanoid. Okay. India Today, at that time, India Today probably was a little more reputed, I don't know. But India Today reported it saying, and I have to read this out, so bear with me. Okay? The oblong object between 3 and 4 feet high kept moving down the slope towards the team. It had a cylindrical head with 2 balloon type attachments, a body, hands, and 2 legs. It seemed to be walking, planting, and pacing its steps like a human being, recalls Dhar. Dhar, basically one of the geologists, right? I continue the quote. It seems when the object reached the lower edge of the hill, 50 meters away from the stunned scientists, the team members' excitement alarmed it.
What were they doing? My dear God, I shudder to think of what they might have started doing.
Such a weird choice of words over here. Class, I mean, absolutely perfect reporting, isn't it? Then the report continues. It stood still for a few seconds, turned and started a steep 70-degree ascent towards the ridge top. This is what made them feel it was a humanoid, by the way, because you can't just suddenly take off, right?
Right.
Unless, by the way, if you're a fucking balloon, because a balloon doesn't need to run, doesn't need a runway. A balloon can fucking take off.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what happened
But
there.
where would a balloon come from? Like there, it's supposed to be secluded, right?
It is secluded. I mean, it's not the Konkala Pass, no? The Tapu is expedition area where you can go. It's still very, very difficult to go. But you can go there. And I don't know where it came from. And also, they have, by the way, pictures as well. But it's 50 meters, dude. They are this tiny. They're so tiny. A nail worth of, picture. Okay, the report continues of India Today, what we were talking about. It says, by this time, apparently due to the rays of the rising sun, its color had changed to black.
Okay.
Soon it changed to white again, hovered above the camp for 5 minutes before noiselessly receding into a white dot in the sky. Okay. Because this was a scientific group, right? This did lead to a lot of discussions. So there were like a immense noise. But the initial ISRO report has not been made public. This was also referred to in the PMO at that point of time. We are talking about 2004. So I think 2005, the PMO also accepted that this report was there. The report has not been made public. The report might not have also been made public because there is nothing to report. Okay, let's not forget that, right? But what I found was a fantastic coverage of this that happened later on, which we will get to. I will not get to it right now. It was by Wired. Because this all led to a lot of media frenzy. Okay. But I want to mention this one weird website called UFOfeed.com. I found literally no information about UFOfeed.com, the website, but it fully sounds and looks like a full-blown, alien believers sort of a cult thing going
Alien
on.
tracker sort of thing.
Okay, completely nutcases. They reported this. Okay, in 2004 this happened. But a fantastic thing they wrote, they were like, the witnesses are sober-minded professionals.
We need to mention
We have to mention this.
If you're mentioning that, then I'm probably inclined to think that probably they were not sober.
Also, they're like, nobody is going to fucking believe us. Let's use the credibility of scientists at least. It's amazing. Okay. This is 2004, right?
Yeah.
Then in 2006, there was a Google Earth imagery that was captured. Let me just show it to you. This is the Konkala Pass.
So all of
imagery.
this was happening and we had no idea. Like in the
I don't
news
recall
or-
any of this in the
Yeah,
news.
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you guys. Sometimes you don't know things.
No.
That is okay.
I am okay not knowing, but like if it was such a big news story, then probably must have come across it at some point and we would have vaguely remembered it. That's what
I don't know. We might have been really...
something like-
Also, we were in fucking school, man. We were
No, but-
fucking idiots.
Something like Kala Bandha that happened in Delhi. It was also the same thing. Nothing existed, just people believed that there is something. It went
What is
viral.
Kala Bandar?
The whole Delhi 6 thing.
Okay.
yeah.
The
okay.
monkey attack, monkey man thing,
I don't know what to tell you guys. It happened. Get over the fact that you guys didn't know about it. It is not that big a deal. Okay. Anyway, so this is the Google Earth captured a 1 to 1500 scale, right, of the Aksai Chin area, which is basically the area around the pass, Konkala Pass, right? And they said it looked surrounded by what looked like Chinese military buildings, right? So the Cabinet magazine captured it, and you can see the photo. We'll put a link, but we'll put a link on the description for the listeners, but I'm just showing to the both of you. Okay. It looks very much like military, military base, right? And then it was removed by Google Earth, right? Obviously, that led to more noise and more conspiracy theorists claiming that, this is, something happening.
Alien base.
Yeah. That's why it was removed. Military bases being removed, scrubbed from Google Earth is not a new thing.
It's not a new thing at all. It happens all the fucking time.
It is, it's a security issue. It has to be removed. Okay, so but I mean, it kind of went crazy. This happened in 2006. 2012 onwards, for some reason, media frenzy picked up. Okay, and I saw so many coverages, man, domestic, international, everything. I found a Hindustan Times articles which said there were reports of 100 plus sightings by soldiers in 2 months. This is 2012. This is what makes me doubt it the most. Because come the fuck on. 100 plus sightings? You think aliens are what? Just fucking around?
Going out for the daily stroll. I mean, they need a walk also, no?
Chai peene aa rahe hain.
10,000 steps they are completing. What?
Yeah.
10, and all of these are, by the way, soldiers.
They need to buy groceries also. What will they eat?
True.
Yeah.
True. These are all soldiers. Like the army went absolutely nuts. Okay. Which led me to this article that I was talking about, which is the most fantastic coverage by Wired. Okay. Wired coverages are anyway hilarious.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
They have taken this and I highly recommend you all reading the actual article. They've made so much fun of the entire thing. I loved it. I am reading out the parts of the article to you. So yeah. The headline of the article was, "Have humanoid UFOs returned to India? The army thinks so."
Very nice.
And then they now listen to the intro. Okay, beautiful intro. UFOs allegedly spotted in northern India in 2004 appear to have returned, according to more than 100 reports from soldiers describing yellow spheres hovering in the sky.
The sun? Are we referring to the sun?
India Today, they continue saying this. India Today unflinchingly announced the news, thus UFO sightings in Ladakh spook soldiers, before explaining that the story echoes the clearest UFO sighting yet made in 2004. It's dripping with sass. I love this.
It wouldn't have been the same without unflinchingly, to be very
honest. Beautifully done.
Yeah.
Compared to the team members' excitement reported by India Today.
Yeah.
This is beautiful writing.
Unflinchingly takes the cake for you.
Okay. Then they talk about, of course, what has been going on and all. And in the same sassy tone, they talk about it. I have taken out a few excerpts that I want to read out to you all, okay? One is, this is the debunking of this, right? Putting a dampener on the whole affair this time around is prominent astrophysicist Jayant Narlikar. No, what?
Narlikar.
You're literally reading.
It's a
read properly, please.
It's a difficult surname. Jayant Narlikar, I think so. There is no evidence of UFOs being of extraterrestrial origin, he told India Today. The implication of them being alien objects is fancy, not fact. Fun thing, I read the India Today article, there was no mention of this there. Wired had to fucking report it. India Today skipped it. Okay, the ending of this article was, Though it's a shame there were no flying robot spottings this time around.
Oh, it's a shame.
It's still great news for conspiracy theorists everywhere. The floaty yellow objects do sound suspiciously like they could be Chinese lanterns, though. Perhaps the nation is going for low-key spying with old school methods.
Actually, that makes the most sense.
It does.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So that is the thing about conspiracy theories in general, right?
Yeah.
And about this as well, where there are so many just like basic things that can explain away. Then the most fantastic explanation you can find that there are 100 plus UFOs just chilling at Konkala Pass.
They have their base there.
They have their illegal alien base there.
They come for tourism, JNK tourism.
And the Indian and Chinese government know everything about it. And they are hiding it. And while doing this, I just asked ChatGPT that give me the links to the most sensible explanations of this. Okay, I cannot go through this. And one of them, where even ChatGPT was like, the most sensible explanation is just natural phenomena. It is highly unlikely that India and China both governments would be protecting an alien base. And I was like, yes, that
is true.
That sounds very fair. That sounds very, very accurate.
Unless it's Jadoo. Then probably we would.
I can't believe that you found the worst alien reference. Like literally.
I mean, that's the only Indian alien I'm aware of.
What do you mean Indian alien? By definition, alien is from outside the planet.
No, you don't understand. That's the Indian alien. He says, "Dhoom."
And the way to call him is Om, 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 Om. He's Indian.
Yeah, definitely Indian. Probably Hindu also. You know.
I think उसके यहाँ टीका भी था बड़ा सा.
Yeah.
Okay, to be very fair, Americans always Americanize all of their shit. So why should our filmmakers not Indianize?
Yeah. I have nothing against Koi Mil Gaya or Jadoo. It's a blatant copy of E.T., yes, but still.
And it was a very badly made movie also, to be very honest.
Yeah.
But it was the first of its kind in Indian cinema. No, so that's why it sort of took off. But
Yeah. It's fun to watch.
It was.
it was
You know,
okay.
after watching that, my father was like, now I can't watch Hrithik Roshan in any other movie because I think he has just started speaking like that. And I'm like, that's a random claim to make. But yes, this was about the conspiracy theory.
Well, that sort of seems like a very short episode to me.
Yeah, it was short. It was short.
There was another similar conspiracy theory. Recently, there was another army guy who claimed that he saw a Bigfoot. This happened, I think 2 months back. And they claim, and there are a lot of YouTube videos on it where they say they saw like a footprint on snow and they cited a Bigfoot.
Yeah,
and then
so just sorry to cut you off, but there are also various versions of Bigfoot. Just FYI, Bigfoot is the American version. The abominable snowman is the Himalayan version, the Indian version of the Bigfoot. So we'll be referring to that person as Snowy or Abominable or whatever.
Snowy makes it just sound funny.
That's Tintin's dog. That's not
that
is also
Tintin's dog, yes, Snowy.
Okay,
But anyway,
anyway,
so very recently, like we still do believe in all of these conspiracy theories.
And it's really not that difficult.
I think they're just fun as an entertainment because I watched all of those media coverage and YouTube videos by Dhruv Rathi and all of these YouTubers. I found it entertaining, to be honest. I don't believe any of them,
fun.
but yes, it is fun.
Snowman reminds me, I just opened the article. The India
Snowy.
Today article we were talking about. I did not go into all of the details, right? But while they were talking about how these guys found it, okay, they were studying the Chandra Basin glacier using satellite data. Around 6:45 a.m., as the scientists were preparing to leave their tents, one of the porters spotted a white object on top of an adjacent mountain ridge and screamed, "Sir, the snowman is coming." That was the beginning of all of this. So they also thought it was snowman.
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple reports of the Yeti spotting
Yeah.
in the Himalayas, but I might be mistaken. But I remember seeing the clearest image yet of Yeti in the last month or so. It was going around. So,
Okay, to be fair, now we cannot trust any of the images.
of course,
Yeah.
we cannot.
With-
I'm just saying.
I
Of
would
course we
still,
cannot.
I would still be like, okay, 2001, 2004, the images clicked.
Yeah.
People actually clicked images.
Yeah.
It might have been some, like, because they are not clear, it most likely is something very explainable.
Yeah.
But now anything that you spot is made.
100%.
It is, you are making it. You are,
No doubts about
and you are
it.
not even doing the effort of going to Photoshop and fucking doing it. You're putting it on a fucking prompt and generating it.
We literally had Donald Trump as Superman. So
Tell Prakhar about the lawsuit. No.
What lawsuit?
yeah,
It is
okay.
so
So,
fun.
I think we're anyway at the recommendations part of the episode. I'll start with my recommendation of the week. I would very, very, very highly recommend anybody who is even remotely interested, even for just the experience of it, please go and watch the latest Superman. It is really, really good. And I'm not just saying this as a comic book fan. Ashmita does not even give a fuck about comic books, but ask her. It was a really, really good movie.
Excuse me, I have grown up reading comic books.
Okay, maybe you're not as interested in these things now.
Yeah, I mean, I have grown up reading comics. I have always enjoyed comics. And I also enjoy superhero movies and everything.
Fair.
I just never liked, and I still maintain that DC heroes are a little too vanilla for me. Okay, not in the sense of their characters, but in the sense of how they keep. They have this weird moral, this thing that, oh, we will never kill the villain. Okay, we just won't kill them. Fuck the fact that the villain keeps coming back and killing.
Yeah, no, fair. I buy that point.
So yeah, that I have always found DC villains more interesting.
Since we are talking about aliens in this episode anyway, so I wanted to refer to the alien of the month, which is the Superman. So please,
Fantastic.
please,
Very nice.
it's a fantastic movie. Like literally no notes, and without spoiling anything for anyone who hasn't yet watched it, it has a very, very strong political undertone which is relevant to current
Love
circumstances,
it.
which I think people should definitely go and watch. Literally no notes, like it's absolutely masterpiece of
And
a
also-
movie, and please go watch it.
Also very comic booky.
It's 100% comic booky,
Yeah.
and it has a very strong political message, very relevant to current circumstances.
I think that is, you're not spoiling it. That is, I mean, the political message is something that is being talked about constantly.
I mean, in fact, it's the political message which has led to it being more popular than it already was.
But
In
okay,
fact,
again, no spoilers. But because I want to make my allegiance very, very clear, I'm going to tell you what is going on, okay? The premise of the story is that there is a US ally in the Middle East called Boravia.
Okay.
I think that is
It's
a spoiler if you go into much.
What are
detail.
you talking about? It is fully being. I mean,
I mean,
this is
just
only
in
the
case he
premise.
wants to watch it, so I mean.
Yeah, this is the premise.
Okay,
it's
fair.
there in trailers.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair then.
So Boravia is also, it's literally in the first scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boravia is the US ally in Middle East that is conducting genocide on a country called Jaranpur. Okay.
Okay.
Boravia is primarily white, run by this insane man, and Jaranpur primarily, and Boravia is also very technically backed and has tanks and arms and everything. And Jaranpur is poor people, brown people who are being killed and whose land is being occupied. Okay, this is it. This is the premise, right? I am not on other social media channels, but I'm on Reddit. Reddit fucking blew up with Israelis and Zionists completely fucking losing their mind. They're like, we are boycotting Superman. How can you show this? Which is wild
Yeah.
because they fully resonated with Boravia. Like,
There is not even a single mention of Israel in the entire movie.
nothing. But the fact that you recognize yourselves
Yeah.
in this speaks volumes on who you are as people, you fucking assholes. It is fantastic. Even people, pro-Palestine people, I'm in a lot of pro-Palestine groups, of course.
Yeah.
And there are so many people who are like, man, I do not give a fuck about DC. I don't give a fuck about Superman. But I am watching this just because of this. And there's of course the very valid criticism that now when it is not difficult to speak up against Israel, now you are saying so. What were you doing in all of these years? Especially what were you doing in 2023 and 2024? Beginning, now it's not controversial. Fucking New York Times is also now calling it a genocide, right? So it's not a brave move, but I am of the opinion that the more mainstream art starts showing this, the better it becomes. And Israelis are very good with self-owned goals, right? Like they self goals, they do really well. Like, nobody was talking about Israel and Palestine, but Israelis were like, you have made us into the villains.
There's no mention of that. Also, like what the lawsuit that Ashmita was just referring to is that the day after the Superman movie got released, the White House released a similar poster on their social media channels showing Trump as Superman. So immediately what the director of Superman did was he sued the White House for $1 billion for intellectual property theft.
And then
The case, I don't know what will happen to the case, but just so for all we know, the case might get overturned because it's still the White House. But just the act of suing the White House is
also
just a win.
suing Trump, man. Trump who sues everything and everybody. It's just so much fun.
there might be nothing out of that comes out of it, but just the sheer act, the PR angle of this is so much fun. You know, so yeah.
Everything around this is fun. It is also like what you were telling me, Sandy, that I saw on Reddit also, which is so these guys, again, Zionists, they're all like, you know, Boravia, you have portrayed us in a bad light by showing us as Boravia and everything. And people are referring to and showing snippets, like people are putting up pictures of the first reference of Boravia in 1939.
So Boravia was first mentioned in Superman's second ever comic book in 1939. So the fictional country of Boravia is older than the quote-unquote very real country of Israel.
I mean, fictional country of Israel.
You know,
Israel is not a, let's be honest. Israel is an occupation. It's not a state. It's not legal.
So yeah, the jokes, if anything, is literally no one was talking about Israel, but the Israelis somehow made even this about themselves. So
Beautiful it was.
So yeah. So that would be my biggest recommendation of the week. Please go watch the Superman movie. It's really, really good. Also, towards the end, we would also like to mention, I'd like to just reiterate, we are available at don't know do care numerical1@gmail.com. Please send us your recommendations for other topics or just any general feedback. If you have any messages for us, maybe we made some mistakes in one of this episode and you'd like to correct us, we'll be more than happy to rectify those mistakes live on air. Just more of that sort. If you have any more further information to share, anything more interesting to share, please do write to us at don'tknowdocare1@gmail.com.
And since most of the people who are listening have either one of our 3 numbers, you can also text us.
or you can just message us on Instagram, maybe. That's also a way.
Yeah. Prakhar, have we made Instagram account yet?
Yes, we have. By the time you hear this episode, we will have our Instagram.
And on that very beautiful note, we'll be signing off. Take care.